Welcome to yet another video, Dr. RS and you on science of cosmetics and personal care products. We are in part 59 on the skin cleansing. We will discuss about body wash today. Part 59, skin cleansing, body wash. Ideal cleanser. What is an ideal cleanser? We are discussing in the last 3-4 parts. So I just run through this. It should be mild and safe. It should give a flash foam, dense and copious foam. It should cleanse effectively. It should be rinsed easily, and it should leave the skin conditioned, and it should be biodegradable, and it should be preferably from a renewable source. Right? If you define body wash can be defined as a rinse-off cleansing preparation for body to cleanse exfoliated corneum cells, microorganisms, dirt and decomposition products of sweat that causes body odor, leaving the body fresh, energized and nourished. What is this decomposition products of sweat that causes body odor? When we discussed deodorants and antiperspirants, we told that pure apocrine sweat has no odor. When it is decomposed, the decomposition products decomposed by bacteria, the decomposition products causes the body odor, right? So those decomposition products have to be completely removed to reduce the body odor, therefore leaving the body feel fresh, energized and nourished. Body washes are designed to be milder than soap. Body wash, the other shower gels are very similar to body wash. So I am not going to discuss the shower gels, it's a similar formula, but we will discuss body wash. So again we are discussing the same thing. A personal cleanser's ability to clean the skin effectively and safely is dependent on a number of factors. Surfactant physical and chemical properties, surfactant composition, in-use concentration, application method, the soil load and the surface characteristics of the particular skin being cleaned. Is it a dry skin or sensitive skin? So we discussed in the previous 3 parts also. I explained this. So you can go back and then you can see that also. Carefully designed formulation with appropriate level of surfactant combination can deliver an effective cleansing formula. However, the skin conditions of the consumer also plays an important role in the choice of the cleanser. So AD level, active detergent level, we discussed while formulating face wash, while we are discussing the formulation of face wash, how the AD levels are different between face wash, body wash and shampoo. Right? Again, we said pH of soap is high because it is a salt of weak acid, fatty acid and strong base, sodium hydroxide. So, face washes, body washes, Sindet bars, all those products came to the market. The only problem with soap is pH is very high, 10.5, because it's a salt of weak acid and strong base. Skin pH, skin acid mantle is 4.5 to 5.5. So there is an argument by scientists that if you subject the skin to high pH again and again and alter the skin acid mantle, that can be a skin problem. But soaps are used for so many years without any issues. But body wash, face wash are alternatives to soap for people who have dry skin, sensitive skin during seasonal variations. No? Just because we are using surfactants in place of soap, it doesn't mean it's safe in terms of having the irritation, skin irritation. Right? So we have to be very careful in all the selection of surfactants, right? So a typical body wash formula. What is a typical body wash formula? So sodium laureth sulfate or ammonium laureth sulfate, laureth is sodium lauryl ether sulfate, ethoxylated. Ammonium laureth sulfate or ammonium lauryl sulfate or sodium lauryl sulfate, all at 30% active detergent level. If you use, that is the primary anionic surfactant, you can use at average of 30%, 25 to 35. Then cocoamidopropyl betaine secondary surfactant on an average of 5%. Cationic polymers, you can select from so many polyquats available, polyquat 7 to polyquat 10 to lot of polyquats are available. You can use it as a to leave the skin conditioned. You can use at a lower level 0.2 to 0.5. Then propanediol, glycerin propanediol humectant at 3% level, or then carbapol, easy to disperse ultrus grades, we can use 1 to 1.5%. It's a rheology modifying agent. So this is the conditioner humectant. Then sodium hydroxide or triethanolamine to neutralize carbapol, quantity sufficient. When we discussed face wash, I showed you the table which shows the ratio between the carbapol percentage used and the neutralizer used. You can go back to that table, and based on the level of carbomer you use, you can use sodium hydroxide to neutralize, or triethanolamine, or sodium chloride. It's a rheology modifying agents. I told you this in the previous, sodium sulfates and cocoamidopropyl betaine is a unique combination. This combination thickens the product very effectively. As such, when you combine these two surfactants, the viscosity increases, and sodium chloride as a common ion effect, and it places the micelle, pack the micelles, the viscosity builds further. So in this specific combination, sodium chloride is used as to thicken further the product, and additionally carbomers will give a very good viscosity. So when you combine sulfates and betanes, cocoamidopropyl betaine, viscosity of the product is not at all an issue. We can now, EDTA is a chelating agent. So when you use in hard water, the chelating agents softens the water, right? So the foam is hard water does not interfere with the foam. Generally surfactants foam well even in hard water, but chelating agents definitely help to improve the foam further. Sodium benzoate, a preservative, methyl chloroisothiazolone and methyl isothiazolone, preservative. Actives, perfume and color, you can use quantities whatever the product is positioned. Then demineralized water to 100. So basically you are taking water, sodium laureth sulfate, cocoamidopropyl betaine in the main vessel, cationic polymers, then the propanediol. You can pre-disperse carbomer in water. You can pre-disperse and then add to this mix. Then you can add EDTA, preservative, then sodium chloride to get the viscosity, right? You can use sodium hydroxide to neutralize and adjust the pH. Usually a pH of 5.5 to 6 is very good, ideal for a body wash, right? So now you can, this product will be a clear gel product. When you use this is a clear gel product. Now if you want to opacify this product, you can add ethylene glycol monostearate, glycol distearate. See, what if you use these ingredients, what you have to do is with part of the surfactant. You can take part of sodium lauryl ether sulfate or sodium lauryl sulfate, the primary surfactant you add, heat to 70-75 degrees these opacifying agent, especially EGMS or glycol stearate if you use those type of opacifying agents, and then disperse it very well in this part of the anionic surfactant, and then add to the main bulk. So that is how it has to be added, right? So then you can add dispersible pigments. Pearl pigments are available. You can add dispersible pigments also to opacify. Additionally, you can include scrubs, walnut shell scrub, apricot shell scrub, almond shell scrubs, jojoba wax beads. There are a lot of scrubs available. So body scrubbing action is also you can incorporate in the product. Usually this body wash, what is being suggested to use if no scrubs, no, you can use a loofah. Loofah is a coir like preparation where you can add body wash in that and apply on the rub on the body. No, loofah, it gives a mild scrubbing action on the, and it foams, it makes the body wash foam very well and also scrubbing. So that's called loofah. Loofah can be used along with the body wash. So this is a very, very traditional body wash. It's again sodium laureth sulfate and ammonium laureth sulfate. Lot of people are using, but when you use this, you have to be very careful on the dioxane. Dioxane is the impurity which is getting incorporated in the product during the synthesis. So it should be less than 30 ppm dioxane, right? And in the final product also, so in the raw material it should be less than 30 ppm. So people are because of this dioxane, people use ammonium lauryl sulfate and sodium lauryl sulfate which are not ethoxylated. So their dioxane problem is not there. So the process of ethoxylation is not there, right? So you have to see, it depends upon how you formulate, no, your formulation design. But when you use laureth sulfate, you have to be very careful about the dioxane level. Dioxane, right? Dioxane level. Right. Now, also, when you buy sodium laureth sulfate, ammonium laureth sulfate and all the surfactants, you have to be very careful. Any surfactant, either CAPB, cocoamidopropyl betaine, or the surfactants we are going to subsequently discuss, any surfactant you buy from a supplier and you design the formula based on that grade which you buy from that supplier, you have to stick to that. But if you are changing the supplier, it might be a same material, but you have to do a product performance test with the new supplier's material before you finalize the formula. Because for example, sodium laureth sulfate, ammonium laureth sulfate, in all those synthesis, chlorides and sulfates are generally as impurities in the product, okay, but they have the advantage. Chlorides and sulfates, in the presence of chlorides and sulfates, when you mix cocoamidopropyl betaine, the viscosity increases. So the level of chlorides and sulfate can vary from suppliers to suppliers. That can affect the viscosity of your product. So all the specifications you have to be very clear. What is the chloride level? What is the sulfate level? Right? So what is the EO level, ethylene oxide, degree of ethoxylation level? So all those things you have to be very, very careful when you change the suppliers. Not only this surfactant, any surfactant, right? So this is the general formula, right? With this you can play with this formula. It's a very sturdy formula and it gives a very good body wash. Now sulfate free, right? People want sulfate free body wash, that is sodium laureth sulfate, ammonium laureth sulfate, no sulfates. One such formula suggestion is disodium cocyl glutamate 20%, cocoamidopropyl betaine 15%, sodium lauroamphoacetate 4.75%, glyceryl caprate, these are all rheology modifier 2%, glycerin, humectant, sodium chloride 0.3, PEG 150 distearate 0.4, water, preservative, citric acid quantity sufficient, right? So mix A until homogeneous with stirring at 70 to 80 degrees centigrade, all the A. Cool down to 50 degrees, add B, preservative and perfume, then citric acid to adjust the pH between 5.5 to 6, right? So this is a very simple formula which is body wash. Here you can add actives based on your positioning of the product, right? You can add the actives, preservative, perfume, actives. This is a sulfate free body wash. There can be lot of formulations sulfate free. I have showed one such formula. The only change in the sulfate free formula is the polyquaternium you use in the sulfate free formula. You have to be very careful. It has to be compatible with the formula. 1, 2, the viscosity. When you use sulfates and cocoamidopropyl betaine, it's synergistic. We discussed on the viscosity improves automatically. But when it's a sulfate free formula, there is always a challenge to improve the viscosity. Or PEG 150 distearate and glyceryl caprate, good combination to improve the viscosity, right? This is one formula of body wash. This is yet another formula of body wash where cornstarch modified is used. When we talk about cornstarch modified, we always talk about aluminum starch octenyl succinate. It's one of the cornstarch modified, but this cornstarch is modified, is hydrophobically modified but aluminum free, right? So Agina Flow 9050 is a lipophilic, that is hydrophobically modified waxy cornstarch, aluminum free, right? So this is used at a 5% level in this formula, supposed to give that silky dry feel, no? So in this I am showing this example because of this ingredient that is used here. Then of course xanthan gum, which is a rheology modifier. Here it's a regular formula, sodium laureth sulfate. No, I showed you initially, cocoamidopropyl betaine, right? 25 and 7 they have used, right? And this is a preservative, phenoxyethanol, methyl paraben, propyl paraben, bromo. This is a combination of preservatives. No, when you use this is a preservative 0.5, perfume color quantity sufficient. So this formula is unique in the sense this cornstarch is used, hydrophobically modified, but it's a traditional formula with sodium laureth sulfate and cocoamidopropyl betaine. We discussed initially, this is the traditional formula with cornstarch modified. This is what I would like to share with you this formula which was unique. See, some of the market product, body wash, the B by the C Canada Corporation. So it's contain water, cocoa amido propyl betaine. It contains olefin sulfonate, disyl glucosides. These are all surfactants, right? Then glycerin, humectant, then aloe, sodium chloride to thicken, fragrance, all this pure sweet almond oil, shea buckthorn oil, the catton CG is the preservative, citric acid adjust the pH, and honey, we added honey. So it's here the surfactant used is cocoa amido propyl betaine, sodium C1416 olefin sulfonate, and disyl glucoside. Right? This is one body wash. It's in the international market. Then it's a unique body wash, extra care, acne body wash, salicylic acid, acne medication. Here you can see extra care. I am reading this. Extra care acne body wash is refreshing, clean rinsing body wash that helps to fight acne on back, chest, and shoulders. Acne can erupt in those places. On your back, chest, and shoulders. The foaming lather rinses completely without pore clogging residue, leaving your skin feeling clean. So what is the active ingredient used here? Salicylic acid at 2% level. Right? What are the other surfactants? What is the thing? Here again, sodium C12, C1416 olefin sulfonate, cocoa amido propyl betaine, disodium cocoa amphocetate. These are the three surfactants used. What are the three surfactants? Sodium C1416 olefin sulfonate, cocoa amido propyl betaine, sodium cocoa amphodiacetate. These are the three surfactants used. Of course, humectants. Then cocamide MEA, cocamide cocomonoethanol amide. This is foam booster and foam stabilizer. Right? Again, fragrance, citric acid, aloe, preservative, methyl chloroisothiazolone and methyl isothiazolone, which I showed you in the formula, regular formula, FD yellow and red color. This is the simple base, right? Simple base, they have used 2% salicylic acid as an active, right? This is another body wash in the formula. It's also a traditional body wash. Water, sodium laureth sulfate, cocoa amido propyl betaine, PEG8. Like it's a rheology modifier. Then glycerin, humectant, polyquaternium 10. I told you polyquats can be used to leave the skin conditioned. Polyquaternium 10 is used here. Cocoa amido propyl PG dimonium chloride. This is another cationic. This is also a conditioner, another cationic, right? Then isostearamido propyl morpholin lactate. Okay, this is also a conditioner. Then sodium chloride to increase the viscosity, because I told you sodium laureth sulfate and cocoa amido propyl betaine by itself become viscous in the presence of sodium chloride. The viscosity increases further. DMDM hydantoin, preservative, citric acid to adjust the pH, tetrasodium EDTA, chelating agent, and color, perfume. Right? So this is a typical formula which I have told in the first, the typical body wash formula. Right? It contains all the aspects of that formula. Right? This is one body wash. Then this is Dove body wash. Here the surfactant used is cocoa amido propyl betaine. Then they have used soybean oil, right? Then sodium hydroxypropyl starch phosphate. See, again they have used sodium hydroxypropyl starch phosphate. This is again a modified starch. We discussed a formula with starch. No, they have used a modified starch in this formula. Then sodium laureth sulfate. So a combination of sodium laureth sulfate and cocoamidopropyl betaine is used here also. Hydrogenated soybean oil, that's an emollient. Then sodium cocyl glycinate, it's another surfactant. Then lauric acid is used here just as a conditioner. Then sodium chloride to thicken the viscosity, thicken the product, because cocoamidopropyl betaine, sodium laureth sulfate, in the presence of sodium chloride, viscosity will increase. Then fragrance, sodium lauryl isocyanate, it's another surfactant. Then stearic acid as an emollient, DMDM hydantoin, preservative, citric acid to adjust the pH, GOR hydroxytrimonium chloride, it is cationic GOR for conditioning. Then palmitic acid, sodium isethionate, again a surfactant. BHT, tetrasodium EDTA, BHT antioxidant, tetrasodium EDTA, chelating agent. Methyl isothiazolone, preservative. This is also a preservative. This is another chelating agent. Titanium dioxide for opacifying. And when you use sodium isocyanate also, the product will be opacified. So this is not a clear gel formula, this should be a creamy texture formula. And also sodium hydroxypropyl starch phosphate is used. So this is Dove body wash as they show in the list of ingredients on their label. Right, this is the list of ingredients shown on the label. So this is one body wash. This is what some of the competitors' body wash. So as we discussed, body wash, the surfactant combination, the active detergent levels in body wash is more than face wash but less than shampoo. Conditioning more than face wash, less than shampoo. So face wash, body wash and shampoos, it's because we discussed in shampoos, in body wash we are washing the skin, right? In shampoo, apart from the scalp, the more important thing is conditioning of the hair, right? That is why the level of conditioners used in shampoos are very high, and there are also the conditioners inbuilt in the shampoo, and there are conditioners that can be used after shampooing also. When we come to shampoos, we will see what is the how conditioners act to condition the hair, that we will discuss. That we discussed initially also when we discussed on the hair and the conditioners, but again when we discuss on the shampoo formulation, we will discuss on this. This is what I would like to share about body wash formulations, body wash and body wash formulations. Thank you for connecting with me in this part. Till we get connected in the next part, bye to you all. Be smiling, be happy, be safe. Thank you.